Alright, take us back to the auditorium. Like 12 it. That's it leading on. Dell's room. We went inside. Spooky! Found ourselves in a tiny welcome room. Then is someone there? Came a voice of the young woman. We shrank into the shadows. Oh. Therefore, deeper within the room. She was lightly made up and had a gentle, unthreatening air about her. It was strange. I'm sure I heard someone. I was at a loss as to what to do for a moment, but before I had had time to do much more, the kid had already darted out. Oh, whoa! I felt laid on the. You don't have to do all that, kid. Where's the frozen flame? Answer. What makes you think she knows where it is? Harsh growl. I rushed in to hold Kid back before she hurt the poor woman. Kid, do we have to do it this way? Riddell couldn't help but giggle as she watched us bickering. What are you laughing at? Riddell, it's just you don't seem like thieves at all. You little cut you. I'd be surprised if that knife could cut anything. I have felt faint. Imagining we were on the floor covered in blood. But then clang. Kid had thrown her knife to the floor, and I saw that it was only a letter opener. Didn't think you noticed. Whatever. I'm not here to mess around killing the likes of you anyway. I have no desire for bloodshed either, said Riddell in a voice that was almost whispered. I'm not your enemy. In fact, I want to help you. There wasn't a hint of hesitation or deception in her voice. Let me guess, you're trapped in the manor too. Riddell only lowered her eyes sadly in response to Kid's question. The frozen flame should never have been allowed to fall into Linus's hands. Riddell spoke quietly, but deep emotion clearly underpinned her words. The flame was once the property of an ancient kingdom to the north, who kept it for generations. It is said to have the uncanny power to guide people and change history itself. After the kingdom fell, the flame changed hands countless times until eventually it came into my father's possession. That was before I was born. Some time later, Linux became aware of the flame's true value and approached my father under false pretense of friendship. Not a soul suspected what his true intentions were. And then on that horrible night, he destroyed everything. He killed everything. Took her head and then buried her face in her hands. I don't care about the frozen flame. I don't care about that stupid accursed stone. It means nothing to me. I just want to take it away from Linux and smash it to pieces right in front of him. And only we can make that happen. Up with surprise as Miguel spoke. No one else in the world can seize that jewel from Enix. Well, Vosia, what can I do to help you? As a survivor of the Arcana Dragons in the dungeon, we want to help. And if we're to help him, we need your help. Man, that man is a traitor. It's because of him that Zoranoth. He sits the only way. Her back to us at home. The Chamber of Death. There might be something to bring him back to his senses there. After all, it was there that he chose to abandon his pride, his life. I assume the Chamber of Death must be the cell with the trapped ceiling. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That thing didn't care this last time. You will need to take the Endalizer. It is a sacred sword said to have been forged by the ancient sage, and a sister blade to the Crimson Curse Masamune. The timeless blessings of the Analyzer will surely keep you safe from the Chamber of Death's wickedness. It used to be such a sight to see in the hands of Zoranov. It danced like the wind, shone like the stars, and struck like lightning. Lost again in memories of fonder times, Riddle once more bowed her head. Forgive me, I have little more to tell you. You told us more than enough. We'll take our leave now, said Miguel, turning and making for the door. I wish I had the strength to change things like you do, whispered Wardell, biting her lip. Kid hesitated for a moment, seemingly deep in thought. It ain't about strength, it's about having a purpose, something to fight for. I will be praying for you. Great, maybe you can cross your fingers too. Oddly, the way Miguel talked to her, it's like he was kinda in love. It looked like not love, but okay, maybe love's probably a too powerful one. Okay, words. Go up the stairs. Turn right. What? Oh, change towards. Yeah, we want to go in here. Wait, no, wait. What? Uh-oh, I messed up. Turn back. Went inside. And we go. So we're ready for the handle. Or whether it's swung open. The room was completely silent, and there was no sign of life. There it is, our ticket to not getting turned into mincemeat. The ancient sword was right where the kid had left it after pulling it out from the column of junk. She ran over to where it lay, looking down at the sword under two ancient blades, the sacred ray, analyzer, and the cursed Masamune. What are you on about, Mag? You know something about this Master Mune? So that's where they got the name from. So that's how they. So that's why it's called Master Mune and Chrono. It's just a word that they just used here. Well, it seems to mean something to you. Something to do with old friends I don't know about? Not exactly. An enemy? Not exactly. You're being weird, Mag. Oh, whatever. Fine, I'm nuts. Grab this thing for me, will you? I was still standing by the doorway when the kid called over to me. Who, me? Yeah, you? Or were you gonna make me lug the bloody thing around the place? I'm just a scrawny little girl, aren't I? Ah, gonna do that. I knew there wasn't anything I could say to her. Silently, I walked over to the kid and picked up the sword. I was told, whoa, I nearly fell over. That thing is heavy. Good boy. Right to the chamber of death. It's on the prize, lads. Dragging the sword behind me, I followed. Suddenly, the darkness fell. Something like a thick haze floated in the air, and then it took form, like someone blowing smoke into a person-shaped bomb. It was robed in a red shroud, and it was burning hatred that lingers even after death, given form. A being driven by hate for all it. A ghost? That's a bugger. That's us out. Was there anything she or I could do to deal with an enemy that had no physical body? I jump behind Agnes. Jump behind my. Wait! Why are you throwing me at the ghost? Rushed into the wall. The core of the ghost, whereas its face seemed to be, had more substance than the rest. I didn't just slip through it like I thought I would. I oozed through it like I was stuck some guy could. Gods, it's disgusting. Felt like it was draining all my heat. And since soon I didn't know what cold meant anymore. And then there was a surge of heat through the. What? Did I? You're still with us? Someone was slapping me around the face. Someone who seemed to be enjoying it. Imagine. Kid, stop it! Damn you! Do I have to use me like that? But dealing with foes who attack the mind, it is simplest to lure them in what bait than use their intended plague consciousness as a conduit in order to make an assault from the astral plane. Direct magical attack would have meant a lengthy battle, a far less elegant solution. Guilt. Alright, let's keep moving. I'm just doing great. I felt like nothing could stop me. Maybe you aren't such a. Just goes to show any old weirdo can make something of themselves. Alright, now that that was done. Continued on. There we go. Footing getting. Here we go. There, safe. This is the chamber, the torture chamber. Well, this place is just as creepy as I remember. Lovely. She was looking at the stains on the wall. The ceiling had been pulled back up. That was no reason to believe it might not come grinding down again. Bearing in mind what Radio had told us the broom was called, it definitely wasn't somewhere we wanted to linger. Quickly. Hits Miguel before crouching down and examining the ground for clues. What were you looking for, though? What could the old man have left in this room that would help us bring him back to real? The flagstones of the floor were smeared with a black gooey substance. Odd, rotten ore. aroma. I shook my head, trying to drive an uncomfortable thought from my mind. Wasn't doing much better herself. She slowly turned, positioning herself so that she was facing away from the stains on the wall. There was no point in thinking like that. I just had to try, but then here we go again. Alright, here we go. We have to stop that. If we don't deal with the trap, we'll never find what we're looking for. The ceiling sank lower and lower. We ducked our heads, desperately trying to avoid the blades that jutted out from the bottom. It looked at me and screamed, "The sword! Use to end the lantern!" What? How do you use the sword? Punched the sword into the ground. There! I drove the sword into the floor with all my might. A shock ran through the room. Beams of light scattered from the blade, covering the floor and walls and then racing upward. The ceiling gave an almighty judder. We made it. I sank to the floor, helplessly, my heart racing. Hey, what's that? What's that? Kid was pointing at part of the wall. It was where we'd seen the message written in blood. Guess we found what we were looking for. Part of the wall had collapsed, revealing a cavity behind what had looked like a piece of solid stone. Inside, I could see something glittering faintly in the darkness. And with our fingertips carefully extracting whatever it was from within, it was a slender ring with a delicately engraved design that looked like overlapping ferns. The ring was adorned with several small rubies and a pattern that resembled a bunch of grapes. The crest of Acaria. This must be the Arcana's signet. The ring on her middle finger, where it sat uneasily. It doesn't seem to be her size. The rubies give off an eerie glint. Right. Let's not spend any more time in here than we have to. We managed to foil the trap and retrieve the signet. I left the end of where it stood, and we exited the room. Oh, we have the ring now. Another save. Proceed towards the Terrans. Proceed on ahead. Ballroom. Continue on. You should be on the other side now. In this stepped in the main hall. The mug, so there's nothing here. Blood ice, I realized that a pair of crazed blood. It was a griffin. Every nerve in my body was screaming with pain. I held back groans and second a bit. I looked. But move. Landed on my shoulders and leapt up into the air. It's gonna attack. We've done it. We'd actually defeated a griffin. I fell to my knees overwhelmed by what I... Okay, so... Yeah, that's not good. I wasted most of my health doing that. That was a bad idea. Continued on. Down the stairs. Went towards the auditorium. Safety save. Pressed on. Towards her track, signaling with us. What a hand behind her back. Oh boy. The clinker metal just overhead. Goblin I have to go that way. Alright, let's do that. That's something you're starting to look like a real thing. Well, yeah, that doesn't help us at all. No! Go. Tried to escape, but I couldn't pull my hand free. Get up, you! What the? I made it. was the last time we had to come back here. I hope they say it's the last time we have to do that. Having retrieved the Arcanian signet, returned to the old man's cell. As soon as we got there, Miguel took a step forward and grabbed onto the bars. They creaked and groaned as he heaved at them, gritting his teeth as he summoned every ounce of his might. Slowly, pulled apart. He stepped into the cell through the gap, and I followed. The old man was exactly as we had left him, staring into space and muttering meaningless words. Crouched down, and by the collar and yelled at him, "Wakey, wakey, Granddad. We've got a few questions for you. Here, get an eyeful of this. Ring any bells?" And his face shaking. "Will you calm down?" My Lord. Try to get. You're in the way, Serge. We're here for answers, remember? But if you really want to help him, you can't chicken out now. But look at him. There's no helping him anymore, surely. This all ended for him a long time. I would not be so certain. This is not over. It still means something. Simply decide to pretend not to see it. Yeah, but it's not over yet, you say. Struck by the return to his fun gaze. That's right. None of this is over until we make pay. So my fellow allies have finally come for me. I am to blame. It is because of my indiscretion that the frozen flame was stolen, and that all of the Arcania dragons I remain here in a manner, but now all is well, for you have returned. Oh, Moses, Zorodolf. Where have you been all this time? Did you all return to Lake Static? Never mind all that, Granddad. Where's the frozen flame? Give us a clue, everything. Come on, out with it. I couldn't decide if kids sounded more annoyed or more desperate. Frozen flame. And then, lost his face. My word, Lady Riddell. It's been far too long since I last had the pleasure. Why, you need only turn the third candlestick from the left as you enter the main hall. That will open the underground vault, as you know. The old man held him tight. Voice was, I'm sorry. I promise we'll get it back. More. I am to blame. He's gone. Get out of here, now's your chance. But it was no use. He was too busy cowering and wailing to hear. Research, we can't help him. There's things we need to be doing. So now we go back to the ballroom. You know, the place where the giant griffin was. Or might be there. What I was supposed to say. We continue on. That's all we can do. Path ahead. Riddell's room. We slipped inside. So this is where you've been hiding, Linux. What? Is Linux here? I followed her, panicking. Where is it? No one else. Where is he? It was a joke, idiot. That's not funny, dude. Because this would have gone against everything that's on the freaking guide. All the strength drain from my... I thought I was serious, did you? I bet you wish you were living the easy life rather than trapezoing around after me, eh? It's not red, though. Hi, sorry about all the noise. The statue. That's quite alright, Serge. What is your desire, teen? Nothing much, just thought I'd check up on you since I was here. You mustn't say such things. Your friends will be very envious. You what? Why would I be envious? Please, there's no need to get upset. I have a gift for you. Oh? Oh, you see, I thought you might be interested to see what it's like inside the mirror. So you're inviting us to the realm of mirrors. Wouldn't take up much of your time. Come, kids, step inside. She deliberated for a moment before finally pulling it back. You go first, Sage. You're her favorite. Are you sure? My hands in the mirror. The surface was like cool water on my fingertips. No, Serge, you mustn't. Cracks formed in the glass. What's happening? Weeping. I wish you weren't so trusting. You forget that I serve Linux. I meant to trap you and your friends. Oh. And that is not all. I first saw you coming long ago and warned Linux of it. Oh, bye. You were imprisoned here by Linux, weren't you? The statue of Venus. He sealed the path to mirrors beyond, preventing me from leaving the manor. For someone to shatter all the mirrors within the manor's walls, I would be doomed. I would vanish, separated from my siblings forever. Eventually, the statue rose its head, but I cannot stand to be at his mercy anymore. Stop. I can't let you do this. What I want. Linux will not suffer me to live after betraying him, said the image of the mirror. Why are you trying to help us? Will that be your final question, Serge? Something in its voice felt like a truth. The truth is, I tried to scream, but I could do a little more than what. I took a shard of glass from the floor and gripped it tightly in my hand. Behind me, Kid was softly calling my name. I gave a slight nod and slowly turned around. Let's go. As we left the room, I turned to look back one last time, my eyes coming to rest on the remains of the mirror. I'd never be able to hear her voice again. I turned again and left the room. Wow. So Linux already knew the whole time that they were coming. We continue on our way. We go towards the stairs. Safe. Yeah, you go that way. To the wall room. Alright, so we know there's something horrible here. We don't know if it'll trigger now since we have new information about this. Looks like the coast is clear. We stepped into the main hall. Dozens of candles provided a dim, flickering light, sending the corners of the room dancing into shadows. The great hall was filled with heavy silence, I say. With a large clock that slowly counted the passages. Third candlestick from the left. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. There. Reached out towards it. I held my breath as I watched. Say your prayers, Enix. We're coming for you. The room trembled with a sudden rhythmic rumbling sound, as if a massive gear was turning. What's this? What's that? For a moment, I felt a strange sensation, as if I was floating. You feel that? The entire room seemed to be moving downward, came the reply from Miguel. I couldn't quite believe it, but I also couldn't deny the feeling of downward motion. The main hall was sinking into the earth. And then another rumble. The room's descent rapidly accelerated. Cold sweat dripped from my back. My heart filled with a mixture of fear and anticipation. Was waiting for us down there, the frozen flame. Our prize at the end of this little adventure, but what was it really? Would it live up to our expectations? I tightened my fists, which were slick with sweat. What were Kid and Miguel thinking? The room remained veiled in silence. As if in response to my thoughts, a quiet voice came from next to me. Sometimes I looked over to see her standing stiffly, staring forward with her hands clutched to her fists. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a losing battle, a fight I'll never win. No matter what I do, it was a side of her that I'd never witnessed before. Even from this angle, I could see fear and doubt flickering across her face. I think it's because she knows that the end is here. And it is. I felt the tears sting in my heart. What are we fighting though? We'll win. There's nothing to worry about. We'll win in the end. Can't promise anything in this world, Sarge. There are no guarantees, but thanks anyway. She grinned again, see, a little embarrassed, then looked me straight in the eye. And then I had the strangest sensation. This wasn't Kid. Or not the only kid. I was overwhelmed by the exceptional oddness of the idea. She noticed immediately, of course, and our little moment was over. The kid I knew was back in the room, trying to catch flies, mate. Sorry, it's just that for a moment there, I felt like you were someone else. What are you on about? Ava confused, tilting her head. It must be because we are drawing near the frozen flame. Voice as soft as ever slipped unbidden from the shadows. What the heck are you two on about? There is another self within you, struggling against the pull of the abyss. What had she been talking about? A crash lit the silence. as if we collided with something. The loud metallic scraping filled the air. The room rocked and finally came to a halt. Looks like the end of the line. All charge. Swelling grandeur of the organs and the air. No one had so much as touched it, and yet the keys and the pedals were moving by themselves. The melody it played was both unsettling and sad. Funeral tune, is it? To greet your guests. Towards to face me and Miguel. Come on, let's go. I'm coming for you, Linux. This is the end for you. With that, should let us from the hall. Oh, they won't let me go into the menu. We continue down a long, dark corridor, all slick with condensation. The air was thick and heavy, as though ripe with the stench of death. Are we really getting close to Linux's hidden vault at last? And was there any turning back now for any of us? There was something strange about Kid that night. Miguel didn't seem to be his usual self either, to begin with. It was vanishingly rare for him to speak so much, let alone to show any kind of emotion. What happened to make them change like that? Unable to take the silence anymore, I decided to speak. I had to ask the questions that had been on my mind. What is the frozen flame? Is the frozen flame really just a jewel? No one replied on Miguel's spoke. It is a sacred stone that cures all ills, heals all wounds, and grants eternal life. Or so some will still believe. In truth, it is part of a tremendous rock that fell from the skies long, long ago. That rock was the source of the hidden unknown power, with which mankind's hidden potential was unlocked. You could say that it was humanity's dreams made manifest, but it is not always good to have one's dreams come true. Many were bewitched by that great power. Some were led astray by it. It even led to a kingdom's ruin, a kingdom once prosperous, yet now little more than fragments and dust, its name lost to history. For a moment, I thought I heard a hint of pain and sadness in Miguel's voice, but maybe it was just my nerves. Wait, how do you know all this, Miguel? He only stared at me with his... For a while, only the sound of footsteps echoed in the corridor, and then Kid gave it down. Look, I don't know if all that stuff about the frozen flame is true or not. It's neither here or there to me. We're here to settle the score with Linux by nicking the thing. That's all I know, and that's all I want to know. What had Linux seen in the frozen flame? Why had it been worth risking so much for? We trudged on down the dark passageway, each of us alone with our thoughts. Concentrating on my footsteps lessened the burden of my worries somewhat, and I felt a renewed vigor to agree. Suddenly, he stopped in his tracks. Wait, huh? A powerful light surged across the floor, and a ring-shaped sigil appeared. A blood circle. At least quick enough to try and jump clear. But they weren't quite quick enough. The three of us were trapped in a circle of binding light. We rotated left and right, with us at the center, cutting off. We're trapped. A wall of heat and wind blew up around us, and swirled lines and spirals of light assailed us wherever we turned. Don't let the guy mesmerize you. Cover your eyes. Turn with the light, not against it. Has to be a way out. Oh, what's going on? All the lights are... Ah! Careful. Merely to touch it is more than enough to harm you. Stay well, but... What was it? Just in case. 3 steps to the right. Three steps to the right. But we weren't out of the woods yet. There was still another wall of light swirling. What a great wind in front of me. 2 steps left. And then 2 steps right. There, I see it. The wood yet. Right twice. Two steps to the right. And there it is. It's our way through. This way. Two or 3 steps forward. We were back in the passageway. Now before the blood circle had appeared, the sigils had vanished from the floor and everything was silent, as if nothing had ever... And then I looked up. Looks like I finally made it, boys. The door with a... The true frozen wave flame awaits Miguel's eyes. Glass catching moonlight in the darkness of night. Let's go. Wait, I wanna... Okay, I guess I'm not saving in this part. So this is the place, huh? Straining to see our surroundings in the darkness. A vast, pitch-black expanse surrounded us, whichever way we looked. As if we entered an impossibly vast cave. We were in a place forgotten by time, unknown world, hidden deep within the bowels of night. A gentle crimson light hovered in the light, in the darkness. The frozen flame. Alright, now it's ours. The light of the flame ebbed gently, as if responding to Kid's voice. What the heck is this place? There's mountains of bloody rubble. Further into the room, it said in a whisper that almost a groan. No, it can't be. But it is. The ruins of the lost kingdom of mages. Darkness from above. Kid looked up. Rock. Linux. I'll kick your flea-bitten arms so hard you'll kiss the moon. She cut. Cut. Some unseen hand. Still the same intrepid child as ever, I see. There's no way to greet an old friend. And you, Shadow Driller. I'll have none of your tricks this time. You'll think me a fool if you believe I'll fall for that again. You've been quietly slipping into the darkness that surrounds us. Stopped dead in his tracks. So this was the infamous Linux. It looks different from the one we knew. Lord of this deadly land, the man who murdered the closest thing Kid had to family, who had assassinated General Viper and eradicated the Order of the Dragoons. Pleasure as always, my dear Kid. And I must say, you followed the trail of breadcrumbs I laid for you admirably closely. Like greedy little sneak thief. Bloody. Well, it wasn't that hard considering I had a guide. You know what I want, kid. Give me the stone you carry. The stone? Stone to a jewel, I didn't know that. He wants the pendant. Don't know what you're about, mate. She just managed to recover her composure now. Spare me the act, child. I know what you have. That you have it. I know she gave it to you. Oh, yeah, the time egg. Where it was. I never heard of it. The what? You're dreaming if you think I'll give it to the likes of you, kid shot egg. It's all I have left of her. I'll never let it go. I'll never let go of it. Not for anyone, and definitely not for you. I'll tell you what's gonna happen, you best. First, I'm gonna take the frozen flame, and then I'm gonna ram it down your throat. Fool. I was hoping this might be a civilized exchange. Alas, it seems my words will only fall on deaf ears. And you are determined to repeat your past errors? Golden sailors. From his belt. Last time I showed you mercy and let you leave with your life. That was a mistake. One correct. Miguel, stand back. That's in. You'll pay for what you did to Lucia. Wait, what a scream! Kid leaped into the air like a bird, taking flight. Her foot lashed out and a scything kick aimed right at the side of Linex's head. There was no contact. Where Linux had been mere moments before, now there was only enough space. Herself back into the air, putting full force of her momentum into another kick. This time, Linux leaned back, letting it swing past only a hair's breadth from its nose. And then it was Linux's turn. He lashed out with his saber, carving an arc through the air in front of him, and had already jumped back to a safe distance. The two glared at each other from mere footsteps apart. At least you had the decency to prepare a little better than last time. A red line appeared on Kit's cheek. Oh, into a drop of blood. In a flash, she fell into yet another attack. Linux dodged to the side, and then made to strike her with the hilt of his saber. Awkwardly, the move to avoid the attack, losing her footing. It was on her like a bird of prey before she could fully recover. There was a gasp and a cough as Linux drove his knee into the pit of her stomach. A steady stream of red dripping from her lips. Would that be all, girl? It was flying. She landed on a pile of rubble, her body rolling until she hit a large stone pillar. And there she lay, lifelessly still. I was already there. He flew through the darkness, a part of the shadows, her crashing down on Linux like a bolt of blue. And countless threads of light flew from her fingertips towards Miguel. What a drawing home! The threads of light surrounded Miguel, crossing over, spread to form a lane of light that gave off a blinding glare. Is this? Staggered and groaned, attempted to shield his eyes with his hands. It was a simple enough spell, my shadowy friend, for those inclined to learn it, and one which sadly for you leaves no darkness in which to hide. You've been quite the thorn in my side. I'll let you live long enough to regret it. Had to do something. Kid and Miguel needed me, but what was I gonna do? And then in one fluid motion, he spun around the face I tried my best to transfer it, but the still in mind. The first arrogant little street rat I cut down, and you won't be the last. This guy. Couldn't breathe, tightening his grip. Enix lifted me bodily until my feet were dangling in the his talons, mercilessly digging deeper and deeper into my neck. Look, kid. See your friend? See him suffer. This is your doing. Hand around his neck. Give me the tirade. Do you even know what it is? I suspect not. Think of it as a concentrated pocket of space. With the frozen flame and time egg in hand, one can bend the fabric of space and time and rewrite the past. There are errors that I mean to correct. Mistakes in the past that must be set right. Before he perishes, I wonder. I could only make choke. Does his life mean nothing to you? I can't. Don't give him the egg. And then I heard her voice. I'm sorry, sir, but I swore I'd sacrifice anything to... Don't worry about me. It was all I could do to force the words out. The grip. Was this really how it was gonna end? For crying out loud. Fine, you win. Have your damn rock. Hand into her shirt. I knew you could come around in the end. Shut up and take it. It's all you deserve, with all the strength. It's tonight. Kid's nails, sharp as head's claws, rake mercilessly, clutching his left eye. Yay! The fingers of his free hand are... I'll kill you all. He kicked her hard, concentrating all his wrath and venom into the blow. As all the wind was knocked out of her, yet more blood rained from... Oh my... My burning throat when... Took a step towards... Yes, perhaps it would be better to start with you. My dear kid, rest assured that your friend's death will be the most elaborate and painful one. You will truly know what it means to suffer, boy. I'll put you through the same suffering as I did that loosome woman. Fixing on Linux. They were wild eyes, stained with the blood that poured from her brow. Gritting her teeth to her face. And then an explosion of light burst forth from the frozen flame. Formed from somewhere near Kid's chest, resonating with the light from the frozen lane. The twin lights intertwined, twirling slowly upward, and as it rose, the golden light. No, this can't be. It's fixed by the spectacle. The time makes power. Gulped her. I'll not let you do it again. I'll never let you steal from me again. Bathed in the glow, her body shook. Blood-red tears dripped from her eyes as they took on a distant look. And then she collapsed to the ground as if from her own out of her. I heard a voice. It was quiet and still like the evening. It has come to pass. Kid is retracing her lost memories back through time, back to the lost kingdom. It was through her power that the kingdom fell. It was swallowed in the encom encompassing vortex of time. In her grief, she wished to disappear. Her past, her future, she wanted it all to sink into the void, to be lost in the seething whirl of time. She despised what she had done. She closed herself off from all that she saw and heard, and cursed her very existence. But the stone wished for her to live. The hands of her clock were rewounded. Her memories unraveled. The stone gave her a chance to begin anew. The stone had both the power and the will to bring all this about. Sinking through the sea of time, she drifted here, a mere babe, her memories a blank slate. The time egg shattered, its fragments raining down on the world, becoming shards of sorrow and anguish. The world around us drifted into pieces. It swallowed us, engulfed us. We were consumed, locked into the void, and then a girl's scream echoed in the darkness. That voice. Was that Kid? It sounded just like... No, this is all wrong. The black vortex, it surrounds us. No, stop. What? Where am I? I have lost everything, and now I can but wonder. The world drifts and time is a blur. There is only an endless, unknowable sea. That's a dinosaur. This is where time begins and ends. This is where all life finds peace. I see myself as a baby, crying next to my mother, an exhausted yet proud look on her face. I see myself aged and wizened, waiting to succumb to death's embrace with a smile. I see countless incarnations of myself, walking time's intricate corridors as ghosts. This is a place where countless worlds overlaps and infinite dreams play out. If only I could rest here for eternity. Nope, we ain't got time. If only I could free myself of all my burdens and sleep here. Well, oh, okay. But I hear it calling me. I hear the song. Are we... Kid, please. Can you hear me? Kid, say something. Kid, you got to stay with me. Who's that? Who is calling me? Surge? Where am I? Hey, kid, you're awake. I heard a song. It was beautiful. It was that song that Lucia loved. Kid closed her eyes and her face glowed with a warm smile. I'll never forget that song. Makes me want to cry whenever I hear it. I'm just glad you're back. It felt like I was losing you, like you were going somewhere very far away. Before I knew it, I was humming the song for you. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but I wrote it when I first started out as a musician. I knew you'd like it, so I did it on. It was you. You were the one who called me back. That was you calling me name. Thanks, Serge. It's okay. It's okay now. I'm back. At least she grasped. Lightning's saber had plunged deep into her right shoulder, and the towering over us was Linex's arm. Oh, we're still fighting him. I told you, kid. I told you I would kill you. had to protect her. You a gray boy? Stunned, we looked towards the intruder. You. There stood an old crone. Her wizened features obscured a heavy hood. How had she made it all the way down here? Lady Vera. What have we done to bring Flora's Magister General running, I wonder? It's been far too long, Lord Lennox. A pity that I seem not to have caught you at your best. I will take the Frozen Flame. After all, it seems you two have been quite unable to decide which of you should have it. Armed soldiers poured into... Oh, no. Seems like a good time to leave. Regret this witch. He turned his venomous glare on us. And you, kid, you'll pay for this with your life soon enough. Be safe for me. Hey. If you wish to try and steal the Frozen Flame again, to try anytime you please. We'll be waiting. But you'll have to get out of here alive first. The soldiers... With Kid slumped against him, Miguel spread his arms and drew a satchel in the air. Hurry, Sarge, this way. I grabbed onto him and we plunged into blackness. So, in the end, we didn't get the flame. Thanks to Miguel's magic, we managed to escape the manor alive. But the lights of torches dotted the forest, and we could hear soldiers calling to one another. We stopped briefly in the darkness of the woods. A kid leaned heavily on a tree, desperately trying to quiet her ragged breathing. It was a terrible wound she suffered, and it seemed to be taking its toll. Are you all okay, kid? Yeah, don't worry about me, mate. We're surrounded. It won't be long before they find us, said Miguel. His eyes cautiously scanning the area. Hand to look at me. It's me. And Miguel they want. Get out of here, Search. It's us they want, not you. What are you saying? I'm not leaving you here. You can barely stand. It's nothing I can't handle. Besides, I got Miguel with me. If they catch you with us, they won't go easy on you, but... I remembered everything. I remember another me. A me from a long, long time ago. Slowly, Kid averted her gaze, looking up at the night sky. I have to go. The stars reflected in her eyes. And suddenly, she looked like nothing more than an ordinary young girl with a sad, distant expression on her face. Don't worry, Serge. I'm okay. We'll meet again. We'll meet again somewhere. Someday. Sometime. Promise. I didn't manage to nick the Frozen Flame in the end, and I lost the time egg too. The only thing I had left of Lucia's, but it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. There's something inside me that shines brighter than any stupid jewel. The most important thing in the world. Eyes again. I fixed them on me. I could have lost myself in their depths forever. No one can take it from me. Not for as long as I live. There was nothing else in the world I wanted but this. I doubted I ever want anything again. I only wanted this moment. All the clocks in the world could have stopped right then and there, for all I cared. And that was exactly what I wished for as I gazed at her. Goodbye, Serge, and thanks. Down, then turned away and disappeared into the darkness of the night. Would I ever see her again? Kid, don't follow me, Serge. Please just don't. I strained to try and catch a glimpse of her as the last traces of her shadows vanished towards a place I might never reach again. No, kid. I leaped to my feet, meaning to chase after her, but a shadow soon blocked my path. He slowly shook his head. Behind the mask, I saw a sadness in his eyes. Then the shadow withdrew and melted into the darkness. I screamed into the night, but there was no reply. The black silence swallowed my cries. And that was it. And so ends another tale. Perhaps one day I'll see Kid Miguel and Riddell again. One day. Somewhere. At another time, in another world. Perhaps none of us will even realize it. But that's a story for another time. For now, I must put down my pen. I closed my father's diary. And then from downstairs I heard my mother calling. Did you hear me? Your friend's here. Nimble footsteps charged up the stairs. The door flew open and tumbled a young girl. Seemed somehow familiar. Hey, Sarge, it's a beautiful day for adventuring. I found a rundown old manor. Off in the woods to the north. You want to go exploring? Come on, put the book down and let us get out of here. Oh. Excuse me? You didn't think to put the credits in English? Square Enix? No offense? Okay. Well, that was a roller coaster. So, I guess the long story short about this is I don't know what to say because it was a visual novel, so all I did was read and read and read, but it was nice to read it all and do all this. From a story perspective, this takes place in an alternate universe altogether. And it seems like this was just, like I said, it's the grandson reading his grandfather's. It's a boy named Serge reading his grandfather's journal. And apparently, at the end, you find out that the kid's friend is all the boy's friend is also a version of Kid, I guess you could say. And now and at the end they go and explore the old manor, the very same manor that we just went through. So there's supposed to be alternate endings too, like there's supposed to be a ton of endings. Not a ton, but like there's 8. I think it says, yeah, see, there's 7. Okay. So but yeah, that's it. That's all there is. I'll do the other endings probably sometime. No, you know what? No. We'll 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 try to get to we'll try to get a couple of them if we can. And then um because I still got time. But yeah, just give me a let me take a small break and then continue and figure this out.